Shut up!
Hey everybody, this is Steve Felicetti, SJF Graphic Arts, and you're watching another episode of Shut Up and Color. So, what I wanted to share with you guys today is I got a job recently that kind of stemmed from the job from when I did the portrait of Command Sergeant Major Retired Williams. So he made good on his word and got me some more business, which is outstanding. And this one's pretty interesting, and I think you guys are going to enjoy the journey with this one as I take you through the process of doing this assignment. And what I want to share with you now is kind of where I'm at, the information and stuff that I've gathered, that he shared with me, pictures he shared with me, and what I did with what he gave me based on our conversation. Yeah, based on our conversation that we had, which I'll share with you also the best I can from my recollection. It was a week ago today. So anyway, pull this up and kind of show you. So, like I was saying, Command Sergeant Major Williams contacted me. I think it was Thursday or Friday last week, and said, "Hey, I got this guy. He's interested in having a painting done. You should call him." And I said, he always said you should text him. Which, okay. So he gave me the number, and I said, he knows I'm gonna get in contact with him, right? And he said, yeah, he knows everything already. So I gave him the number, and I gave him a call. And the conversation at first was a little awkward, like just we're texting, so can't read response, can't hear a tone in the voice or anything. So it's not really the way I like to do things. But he told me to text him. I don't know if that's what the guy told him, so I just went with it. And at first it was kind of awkward because I introduced myself, and he didn't really seem like he was really interested. And I don't really know why that was. Maybe he was just kind of feeling me out a little bit first or something. But I'm like trying to throw things at him. Oh, so I heard you were in the military at one time. Okay. Oh, you drove, you were a tanker. And he's like, oh, yes. And I was like, oh, okay, that's great. And like, when were you in? And, all those kind of questions and stuff. And his thing was like, I was only in for 6 years. So what you did for Command Sergeant Major Williams, and if you haven't seen the videos, you can refer back to them after this if you want. Let's check it out. But what you did for Command Sergeant Major Williams was awesome. But I was only in for 4 years. I don't have all those bells and whistles and stuff I could wear on my uniform. And I was like, okay, yeah, I understand that. It's no problem. And so I was kind of throwing around some ideas and stuff, and it didn't really seem anything was like grabbing. And I even asked him in that conversation. I said, "Hey, so what did you have in mind here?" And he didn't really answer me at first. So I didn't give up. I just kept kind of going at him and just trying to get some rapport, make him more comfortable with our conversation and stuff. And then the second time I asked him, he gave me the answer, right? Like he was just like, "This is what I want." I was in the Army for 6 years. He's like, I was in 3 years. I think he said active duty service, and then he did 3 years in the reserves. He was a tanker for his 3 years active duty service, and then for the remaining reserve period, he was engineer. So he worked with engineering equipment and stuff like that. And he said, I took my engineering equipment experience and my experience in the Army, and I moved it into my civilian life, And now I'm the owner of Eosso Brothers Paving, and I have my own fleet of trucks, and that's what I do. And everything that I learned from the Army, and this isn't an Army recruiting commercial, but but this does give you an example of kind of how you can use that time in the service to your advantage later on in life. And said he took everything that he learned from the Army, helped him kind of get a foothold in the asphalt paving business, and that's what he does. And he's successful, and he's got a successful business now, and he's older now. Probably around my age, I would say, maybe. Yeah, I would say he's probably around my age now, and he's got a good business going, and doing well for himself. And I was like, perfect. I was like, that's outstanding. I said, that's exactly what you want to do with that experience. Like you took full advantage of it, and good for you. Like good for you. So then I was like, okay, well, so what are we doing here? He's like, how about this? He's like, how about I show my experience? And he sends me these photos, right? So I'm just gonna share the photos with you, and I'll kind of talk through what we talked about as far as how we're gonna implement this thing. The first thing he sends me like these photos, and he had them all, like it was almost like they were ready to go. So that's why I say I don't know if he was feeling me out. So you might experience something like that. Sometimes people aren't gonna just unload what they're looking for a painting on you right away, before they kind of get a feel for who you are, whether they want to waste their time talking to you or not, if you're gonna be a good fit for them or whatever. So glad I kind of stuck into the conversation. I stuck in there and just kind of like slowly tried to break him down a little bit, break his wall down a little bit, and get find out what's behind there and stuff. And he when he was ready, he let me know, and that's fine. I don't I don't blame him for doing that. I don't blame him. So then he sends me these pictures, right? Came in as a tanker, right? So he's got this picture of him and his probably his team chief or whatever on a tank, just out doing some training and stuff. He wants all these vehicles in the painting to show what his armoring experience was like, right? So he's got this one, he's got this one, right? I was like, ooh, that's cool for a portrait. That's good. And he had then he sent me these, and I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember what these things are called, but he told me in the text, but it's on my phone. My phone's recording this video, so I'm not gonna be able to get to it right away. But yeah, and then here's a bulldozer type piece of equipment. These are the images that he shared from his Army experience, right? And then he gave me one of him in his dress uniform. Now this is back in like I think he said 83. Again, it's on my phone. Here he is, PV2, with all his earned awards at that point and stuff. In his Class A's. That's what the old Class A's used to look like. That's what they looked like when I came in. Here he is as a engineer and probably in the reserves, right? So that's his military experience. Then he had all this ready. Like I said, it was beautiful. And he sends me his pictures of him as a civilian, and this is him. Eosso Paving, that's his business. Eosso Brothers Paving, and there he is, the boss, right? And so there was this one also of him in a suit, and I was like, oh, that's cool. He looks good right there. with his suit on and stuff. But if you notice, it's almost like a mirror stance. And that's what I picked up on like right away when I'm looking at the photos. I'm like, wow, look at that. I said, almost doing the job for me. It was really weird. It was almost like I told my wife, I said, I don't know if he sent me everything I needed or if I figured out a way to work with everything that he sent me. But either way, it kind of like all fell right into place, and it was really easy to figure out how I was going to put this thing together. So there's that one, and then there's that one. Some of his equipment, his paving equipment that he owns for his business. So those are the pics he sent me, right? And I'm like, okay, I can definitely work with all this, and I already had some ideas rolling in my head of what I wanted to do. So I threw at him. I said, okay, because he said he wanted all that, and then he wanted a picture of him in the middle. And I was like, yeah, all right. That's so like a then and now kind of thing, right? It was his Army career and how it transitioned him over into civilian career, a successful one. And I was like, that's beautiful. That's a great idea for a painting. I like doing, these you never know what's going to happen on the other end of that phone, man. Like when you make a call and start a conversation with somebody about, you don't know what they're going to say. And sometimes they come up with the greatest ideas, like the best ideas. And you're like, wow, that's awesome. And then you can get right behind it after that, because your heart's in it. Shut up!